Since you can't always tell if what you're reading is real or not, and Florida man stories can be kind of crazy and seem fake, we decided to combine the two into this challenge.
Let's take a look at these two headlines. Naked Florida man revealed on video sneaking into restaurant and munching on ramen, or Florida man kicked out a funeral after telling Alexa to play Despacito. Which one is legit?
You may be thinking, I have no idea how to tell, and that's totally fine. That's the point of this video. We're gonna teach you. By the end, you should be able to figure it out.
Let's start with the basics. When you come across information online, ask yourself these 3 questions. Who is behind the information? What is the evidence? And what do other sources say?
Our partners at Stanford wrote these questions and even made this handy poster you can print, download, and keep at your desk. The link's in the description below.
So keep these 3 questions in mind as we go through examples.
All right, here we go. Is this legit? Is Mars really gonna be as big as the moon? Take a moment, pause the video, and follow the link in the description below. Let us know what you think. Just be sure to come back.
Okay, so this story is completely made up and it got nearly 2 million views on Facebook, and it's something we like to call a zombie claim.
A zombie claim is a story that appears year after year despite the fact that it's been proven wrong over and over again.
In other words, it's a claim that rises from the dead no matter how many times you kill it.
But luckily, there's an easy way to suss out zombie claims with a strategy called lateral reading. That term was coined by Stanford.
It's basically a fancy way of saying read multiple websites or sources covering the same topic. Instead of staying on the same website and reading vertically, get off the website you're on and open up tabs and see what other reputable news outlets are saying. Literally, open up tabs and read laterally.
So remember, that's one of Stanford's key 3 questions. What do other sources say?
For this Mars story, you would have found multiple fact checks debunking this zombie claim. Good sources to check are Snopes, PolitiFact, and factcheck.org.
Don't freak out, guys. We have a crazy tip you might not expect. A great launchpad for lateral reading, or any research, is actually Wikipedia.
A lot of people hate on Wikipedia because anyone can edit it, but it's actually where professional fact checkers start research on a topic just to get broad strokes on a subject.
Start by checking out the citations at the bottom. A good indicator that the info on a wiki page is legit is if it links to primary sources, reputable news outlets, or scholarly journals.
For example, let's take a look at this Mars hoax Wikipedia page. Okay, yeah, that story we just debunked is so widespread, it has its own Wikipedia page. But if you look closely at the sources, you'll see a fact check from Snopes and 2 stories from NASA, all of which are debunking that viral claim.
So basically, you can use Wikipedia citations to find other sources covering the same story. Now, on to our next example.
Is this legit? Did Jason Derulo really fall down a flight of stairs at the Met Gala? Pause the video and take a closer look.
No, that's not Jason Derulo, and that's not from the Met Gala. It's actually from the 2011 Cannes Film Festival. This specific photo reappears every year around the Met Gala.
And this is a pro tip, anyone can debunk this image with a reverse Google image search. This allows you to search the internet wherever that photo has been posted before, and it's kind of like being a detective.
A reverse Google image search can be done using your phone on the Google Chrome app. If you see an image you want to search, like this one, you just tap and hold the image, and it will prompt you to open it in Chrome. Once it's open in Chrome, you can tap and hold again and select Search Google for this image. That will return a list of relevant fact checks.
You can also use a reverse Google image search to find out where else a photo has been posted. For example, a man posted these 2 photos on Facebook making claims about the October 2018 migrant caravan in Central America. However, both photos are being used out of context and neither of which are from that migrant caravan.
A reverse Google image search of the first photo brings up a few articles dating back to 2013, back when it was first posted.
And a reverse Google image search of the second photo reveals that it was taken in April 2018, so it's not from the October 2018 migrant caravan, and it's also being used out of context.
That's a major theme with misinformation online. Photos, quotes, all kinds of info being taken out of context. So be sure to keep an eye out for stuff like that and use tools like a reverse Google image search to help you figure it out. So let's get back to that first Stanford key question. Who's behind the information? Neither of the posts come from experts or even verified accounts.
Wait, hold on. What exactly is a verified account? I know, but just tell them.
So basically, when you see a blue check mark next to someone's handle, that means the platform has verified that they are who they say they are. The big platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram usually focus on people who are likely to be impersonated, like celebrities, public figures, and brands.
You might be thinking, duh, I know what verification is, but according to Stanford, only a quarter of students understand what the blue check mark really means on social media.
In other words, if you see a blue check, you know that account is who they say they are.
Just check out this example. On the right is the real Beyonce's Instagram account, and on the left is a fan account. They look really similar, but only the Queen Bee has a blue check mark next to her name.
Now, on to our next example. Is this legit? Did former President Barack Obama really sign an executive order banning the Pledge of Allegiance? Pause the video and take a moment to look over the story. Just make sure you come back.
No, he didn't. This story is completely made up and got nearly 2 million interactions on Facebook, and it even fooled me. It has all the things you would come to expect from a traditional news story. A headline, a byline, a photo, and a photo caption, and it even has a pretty legit logo.
But if you look closely, you'll notice the URL ends in .com.co. That's a red flag. Be wary of URLs that end in this. They're often impersonating news websites.
And URLs can tell you a lot about a website. So if you see one that looks a little different than what you're used to seeing, that should be your cue to dig a little deeper.
If you didn't notice the URL, lateral reading still works. If you search the headline, you'd find that Snopes actually debunked this story and traced it back to a man named Paul Horner, who's known for posting fake stories onto a variety of websites.
Using lateral reading, you can check off 2 of Stanford's key questions. Who is behind the information, and what do other sources say? Okay, so this one is a little different. Which one is an ad? Can you tell the difference between these 3 pieces of content? Pause the video and take a closer look.
The top story is an ad, and you can tell by the words paid content. Now, this may seem obvious, but it's actually not to a lot of teens. Stanford studied this and found that more than 80% of students believed that a native advertisement identified by the word sponsored content was a real news story.
To spot native ads, look for words like promoted, advertisement, or sponsored. It may also say a message from XYZ. So on Snapchat, the word sponsored appears in the bottom left. On Twitter, you'll look for the word promoted also in the bottom left. And on Insta, the word sponsored is right below the user's handle.
It's important to know the difference between a native advertisement and a real news story because a native ad is trying to sell you something. It could be anything from a pair of Nike shoes to a political campaign ad, whereas a news story is just trying to inform you.
And native advertisements could have bias or opinion attached. Think about it this way. Native ads aren't bad, they're just trying to change how you think or feel about something in order to get you to buy it.
Telling the difference between the two can be tricky because native ads are often embedded among real news stories. That's why they're called native ads. Native to the environment. Get it? So that's why it's important to look out for those keywords.
Okay, moving right along, we have one more example and then we're going to go back to the Florida Man Challenge. Keep watching.
Is this legit? Is Simba really going vegan? Take a moment, pause the video, and check out this story. Just be sure to come back.
Nope, not real. It's satire. Satire is content that mocks or pokes fun at news, politics, or pop culture. It may seem and look real, but it's really just a joke.
This story was posted to 8satire.com, a website clearly labeled as satire in their About Us section and in their URL. They also have a disclaimer on the bottom of the website that says all their content is fiction.
Always be sure to check the About Us page or disclaimer on the website. That will help you answer who is publishing the information. Remember, that's one of Stanford's key questions. Who's behind the info?
Speaking of satire, that's a hint. Let's get back to the Florida Man Challenge and test what you've learned.
Naked Florida man revealed on video sneaking into restaurant and munching on ramen, or Florida man kicked out of funeral after telling Alexa to play Despacito. Which one is legit and which one is fake?
Take a moment to figure it out. Pause the video. We've included the links in the description below. Use everything you learned to try to suss it out. And don't get lost reading Florida Man stories. Be sure to come back. I'm sorry to report that a Florida man didn't actually get kicked out of a funeral for playing Despacito.
Man, I wish that were true. Alexa, play Despacito.
So, a naked Florida man really did break into a restaurant and eat ramen. You can tell a lot about the website by looking at the URL.
The ramen story was written by the Tampa Bay Times, a reputable news outlet. However, the story about Alexa and Despacito was published on 8satire.com, which, if you were listening to any of this video, was clearly made up.
Whew, that was a lot of info. So, let's recap.
We've gone over several strategies for avoiding misinformation like lateral reading, aka reading and opening up multiple websites covering the same story. And we also talked about how Wikipedia can be a great launchpad for that research.
We also went over how to do a reverse Google image search, how to spot a verified account, and why it's important to check the URL of any website you're on.
We also covered native ads and how to spot them. Remember, native ads aren't bad, you just need to know the context of the stories you're reading.
And finally, satire is everywhere these days. Do a little digging to see if what you're about to share is really just a joke. And remember, all of these tips can help you answer Stanford's 3 key questions.
Who's behind the information? What is the evidence? And what do other sources say?